Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I'm going to be going through and doing and trying to catch up with some of the Seasons of the Witch prompts. A lot of these I like the actual like making of things. I haven't done that. I haven't had the time. But I do want to show you what I have done and that is okay to show here. So, and then I'm going to do the cozy 444 tag. So, of course, this was the beginning of it. These were all of the different that you could go to. So here was the front door. You guys all seen that one. These are my write-ups for the magpie and the woodshed and the useful broom and the viewing platform. Now, this you guys have not seen. This is the Intruder deterrent. This was a bunch of stuff that that gets my heckles up, so to speak. So I'll just tell you what some of them are. I'm not going to probably tell you all of them, but unsupportive people, judgmental people, emotionally immature people, self-righteous people, self-denial and unaccountability, publicly trying to shame somebody, rude and sarcastic, black and white thinking, closed-mindedness, know-it-alls, self-proclaimed experts of any type, people with no compassion, people stealing ideas from others without giving credit, and my own negativity and negative thinking. Those are all things that get my heckles up. And I had to ask Antoinette what it means to get my heckles up. She goes, the kind of things that kind of tick you off, kind of, So, and I did make a sigil. This is it. It's very strong. Oops. And the way that I do it is I write out a sentence and then I break that sentence down to only the consonants, no doubles for a sigil. And then I take, sometimes I will do the outline of the letter. Sometimes I'll use a witch's wheel and sometimes I use the shape. So lines up and down, circles, diagonals, and then put it together in something. And that's what I did this time. And then put an all-seeing eye with the lights or with the arrows pointing out that goes outward, protecting me like a shield. So that was my sigil that I created. But I have also protection incense that I have created. I've got protection sprays that I have created. Well, hang on. Let me see. Where is... Well, I also use, and I showed it in a previous one, Florida water, right? But I also have... Where are they? I've got these that I created. Not to mention ones that I get from... And these are... Oh, yeah. No, I refilled them. Spiritual cleansing spray and a smudging spray that I created quite a while ago. Not to mention, like I said, I get some from the Witch's Roots, or have gotten them from the Witch's Roots. And I do have an incense that I created. I've got a ritual incense. I've got a Goodyear incense. I've got a protection, which is like, oh my gosh, frankincense and myrrh and white sage that I grew myself, and Palo Santo powder, rosemary. It is like a massive protection incense, loose incense that you burn over charcoal. So this I still have to do yet. What is this? Favorite resources, meditation. Okay, so links, I'll probably put a few channels down below. I haven't put it in here, but I have them saved on my like watch later, or I probably have like a private list. But I like to listen to, I don't like guided meditations. That doesn't work for me. I like to organically lead myself through meditation. So I just like to clear my mind completely, and I don't like to be led. And usually meditations, they go way too fast for me because I'm really slow. I'm a really slow breather, everything. So I prefer to just use frequency music in order to get me in that stage. And I will show a couple of different frequency music channels. But I also like pagan and witchy music, you know. So if I can find some there, usually those are watched or playlists also. So if I can, I'll put a couple of links down below. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Lightning conductor. What energizes me? Cappuccino. First thing in the morning. Yummy, yummy. That's what kind of gets me awake. Also, blueberries, strawberries. I like to make smoothies sometimes, or just because I get them frozen, because they like flash freeze them, so they don't have to put as many preservatives in order to keep them looking ripe, in order to get to, you know, to look fresh in the produce department. So I like to freeze them, thaw them out, and I don't put them in the microwave or anything like that. I have a hot water dispenser and a cold water dispenser. And so I just run really hot water over them. So I also get like a juice from it. But if I want to, I can also make smoothies really easy. I've got one of those like immersion blenders or whatever. It's just, you put it down into the cup. And I like doing that with also cherries, tart cherries. But tart cherries are also really good for my gout. So I get those frozen. So, and blueberries. Yummy, yummy. What else? Yep, tasty treats. Those are the tasty treats I would suggest. And I also drink, I think it's Hills Brothers double mocha, sugar-free cappuccino, and it is decadent. You would never know that it's sugar-free because it tastes really good. It's probably really not, right? They've just been lying to me. No, I'm just kidding. I am not, it is sugar-free, okay? I am not embracing that reality. But I like putting cinnamon in it. But that could also go with another thing that we got going on. Friendly wee ghosty. How can I be more social this season? Create a mystical brew or share with others. Spice cider tea party punch. I don't really do cider. A tea that I love drinking is ginger and turmeric and citrus, and then I put cinnamon in it. And it's really good, really, really good. And I don't put usually any cream or sweet in that. It's just plain ground cinnamon in with the other, and it's really good. How can I be more social? I have no idea. I feel like I am pretty social. I talk to my friends all the time. I share on here. I could probably be more social with people that I live around. But honestly, I would rather be social with my friends that are long distance, because I don't have to get dressed. You know, I can be in my night clothes, in my pajamas, and I don't have to do anything with myself. They don't care. So, Lucky Cat. I did a prompt on that, and then I got a card for it. Just, I choose to be happy today. I will notice all the tiny things that brighten my world. I leave negativity behind and fly towards gladness and joy. And I have not done the witch's ladder yet. I have to go through some of my stuff. It's down in the basement to figure out what I have as far as supplies and beads and stuff like that to do it. So, but I did do the, you know, copied the by not by one, the spell be gone, by not of two, the magic comes true. So I'm preparing myself for that. Bat Rouge, Jonah prompt. What's my go-to comfort habit? What makes me cozy? Okay, I'll write about that, but essentially you're going to see it here in the cozy 444. 4444, yeah, hashtag that goes along with the Seasons of the Witch. Okay, so let's just get started. There's 4 prompts, the top 4 cozy tarot decks, top 4 cozy feeling oracle decks, and then I'm just going to talk about these things here. Okay. Okay, so I grabbed out 4 tarot decks, although I have several tarot decks that make me feel cozy, that they're very cozy decks. I mean, you guys have seen, I have a very, very large collection of decks. But one I thought of is the Cozy Witch tarot deck, right? I mean, it's kind of too easy, but it's true. I do find this deck extremely comforting. The artwork is comforting. I like the way that it's set up, even the little border. I think even the backs with the coffee and the candles, very comforting. The messages, I think, are very comforting. The fact that it's witchy, that's really comforting to me because that's the world that I want to be in. So, and it's the world that I relate to. The first deck that really started making sense for me in tarot was the Everyday Witch Tarot, because I'm a witch, right? And I think like that. So it made perfect sense. But this one definitely feels really, really cozy to me. So even the cardstock, it's very cozy. So that was deck number 1. The Cozy Witch Tarot. So another deck that I find, tarot deck, that I find very cozy is the Earth Woman Tarot. And I know she doesn't have any facial features, but that doesn't bother me at all. It's not freaky. It's almost like my face or somebody that I'm reading for, their face could be there. You know, it's like fill in the blanks kind of thing. Meaning it could be, it's simply the archetype. But the colors, the nature, anything that's got like greenery, because green is my favorite color, all different shades of green, it's just, I find extremely comforting and cozy and warm. These are warm colors. It just feels like a warm summer's evening kind of thing. Or even a fall, but definitely more summer to me. Yeah. Beautiful. This one definitely feels very cozy. Browns are also very, you know, wood. I love wood so much. I know this is not wood, but the illusion of it. I just didn't want the shiny of my desk and my stuff just slipping all around. That's why I like having mats down. But wood, I find extremely cozy and comforting. And I love to look at it, and I love to feel it, and I love to be around it. I love like wood paneling or shiplap. You know, Chip and Joanna Gaines, the way that they decorate is super like, you know, cottagecore. It's just beautiful. Like modern cottage or whatever you want. I don't even know what the name of it is, but I love the way that they decorate. So, another one is the Good Fortune Tarot. This one, I find linen extremely cozy and comforting and easy for my hands to shuffle. So so it's an easy shuffle. Llewellyn. I feel really cozy with Llewellyn decks just because I love the boxes so much. The artwork is usually really good on the boxes. I like the big books that come with them and how they can easily be tucked in. I like the image that it creates on my shelves. It looks very uniform, but still separate, you know, because you can still see what each thing is. I want organization and functionality and beauty all rolled into one. So I love the greens and the golden yellow, not bright yellow, but golden, and like the taupes and the browns and the blues of this particular deck. It is so cozy and comforting to me. And the fact that it is good fortune. So there's a prompt in each, even though I don't necessarily need to use the book. I like using the book, especially when I'm doing self-reflection, right? I like getting my own interpretation, and I also like seeing what the creator wrote about the particular card in order to see if I can get a little bit more insight from what, you know, what they said in it. And also because my higher self is going to know that I'm going to look in the book. So that might be the reason why my higher self picked that card. Because when I am shuffling and doing tarot, the flyers are as if my higher self reaches in and goes, bam, right? And I did fail, but bam, right? So that is a comfort to me. Being able to have a really good guidebook that I can look at. In most cases, not all cases, I don't need it, but it is nice, especially depending on the kind of readings that I'm doing, self-reflection readings. I like to be able to see what the creator has said as well and get little clues and more insight that way as well. And I like that this particular one has a good fortune prompt, or I'll show you. Good fortune, no strings attached unless you attach them. So there's a good fortune message for each one of the cards as well. I love that. I love that. It's like the silver lining kind of message, right? No matter what the card is, it's like a silver lining, finding the silver lining. That to me feels cozy and comforting. And the other cozy deck, it's the Green Witch. Like I said, I do love the Everyday Witch, right? And for the longest time, I thought when I first got the Everyday Witch that I didn't need the Green Witch because I had the Everyday Witch. But as much as I love the Everyday Witch, I love working with herbs, and my favorite color is green. So the Green Witch Tarot feels like home to me. You know, I love learning about ancient civilizations. This one seems a lot more of an older, more, I don't even know how to say it, like 1,000 years ago, maybe, right? Maybe 500 years ago. More maybe medieval times. So maybe, you know, 5, 6, 7, 800 years ago, right? Rather than the Everyday Witch feels very modern. This does not. This feels like a different time period. When I think of Green Witch, I think of this time period. Even though I'm a Green Witch and I live in this time period, I still think of this time period like this is where it derived. Or I think of like Druid times, or even before that, when people lived off of the land more, you know? So this to me, I mean, she feels, Queen of Wands, she's just everything. She's not even like your normal Queen of Wands. She's like a green, earthy Queen of Wands. You know what I mean? I just love it. So to me, that's extremely cozy and comforting. And the box with all the green. Yeah, I'm just here for it. Okay, so let's move on to the 4 cozy oracles. Okay. So one of them that I thought of was the When My Soul Whispered Oracle deck. Now, I could have used this one, or I could have used the Roots and Wings. Or is it Roots and... Is it Roots and Wings? I love that one. That one is really comforting and cozy to me. And so is this one. With the words, with the size, the white space, the simple artwork. It's just beautiful. It feels very upbeat to me. Watercolors and black and white. I mean, everything. I love the simple gilding on it, the backs like honeycombs. I love it. I love every part of this. It's simple and it is cozy. It feels cozy to me. So another one, and this is why I didn't choose the Roots and Wings. Gosh, I think that's the name of it. That's terrible. Please let me know down below. The other one by Catherine Riles. You know what I'm talking about. Is it Roots and Blooms? Oh my gosh. No, I can't remember. But this is the other one that feels extremely cozy and comforting to me. When I think of cozy, I think of comforting, right? It's artwork like this. It's the rose petal finish. It's the thickness of the cards. It's substantial. It just feels soft. The colors are soft. Look at Rebirth, Spring Equinox. Surfacing. The messages are sweet and beautiful and hard-hitting at the same time. It's just, this is pure comfort to me. This is pure goodness. It's pure beauty, but a soft, subtle beauty, you know, which feels, it's that word again, feels cozy. Feels cozy inside. And you know, another part that probably makes it feel a little bit cozy is that you have this white space all the way around it. So when you delve into the artwork and the messages, it's like going inside of a coziness. Going inside. This space on the outside feels colder to me, but it feels warmer on the inside kind of thing. I don't even know if you understand what I'm saying. Maybe I don't even understand what I'm saying. I think I do, but you never know. I love the color. I told you brown is one of those cozy colors for me. Brown and green, copper. I just, oh my gosh. Those are cozy colors for me. When I think of like spices that are cozy, it is like nutmeg and cinnamon and vanilla and turmeric and ginger and lavender, you know. And cozy for me is definitely the feeling of rose petal finish. So another one that I thought of is the Rooted Woman. Because another thing that makes me feel cozy and comforting, like I said, it's like the earth, right? It's like being rooted in something. It's like foundational. It's like a child having good structure in their home, even though they might not want it. They need it, even if they don't realize that they need it. So there's security in that. That feels like the earth. It feels like Mama Gaia. It feels like trees. It feels like flowers and that nurturing, right? Tree roots, something that's stable and sturdy and solid. That is cozy to me. I find great comfort in that. So this particular deck is rooted in security. It's rooted in earthiness. It's rooted in women. It's rooted in femininity and nurturing and stability and depth and emotions, and it's just like the whole kit and caboodle. Now, I could honestly think of, like I said, a lot of my decks. Oh, look at that. A lot of my decks that I feel cozy and comfort from. I mean, because a lot of them, these decks that I use for things, bring me comfort, right? They help me work through things. And is that not the most cozy, comforting backs? God, that's a beautiful back right there. I swear, I look out my window upstairs in the office upstairs, and the lady that's across from us, her backyard is butts up to our backyard, and we have a fence in between it. But on her side, we've got a privacy fence. But when I'm upstairs, I can see over, or if I'm on the deck, I can see over. But she's got one tree that when you look at it, it looks like it is a goddess. And the woman that lives there, that neighbor, she is, you can tell she's got a green thumb. Her yard always looks spectacular. I mean, I wished I had just in my little pinky the kind of knowledge and understanding that you know she has of her yard. And I see her out there every day gardening in the spring, summer, and fall, because that's just what she does. You can tell that she loves it so much that it's like her pastime, right? And she's a crone. She's a older lady, and you can tell it just brings her great joy. And of course the goddess would come through in her tree. Of course I would see the goddess in her tree. It is the most beautiful thing ever. And it makes me think of that when I see this card. It makes me think of that tree. I look at it fondly all the time, and I recognize the goddess there. Mama Gaia, right? So, and the other one I thought of was the Green Witch Oracle deck. This is so, the backs are so cozy. I love black, then with colors on it. Oh, that's just beautiful. But I also like, these are not stark white. These are like a cream color. And these are things that you would find in nature or find in a, I mean, look at that. That's so beautiful. I have a few watering jugs. I just love them. I think they're beautiful. Just for decor. Plants, beautiful. Roots. We have cardinals in our yard. I just find this so cozy and comforting because of what's in it, you know? But like I said, oh, it's so beautiful. Moss agate. I love moss agate. Oh, carnelian. Oh my gosh, I love carnelian. So those were my 4 Oracle cozy decks. So let me just do a rundown really quick and show you. These were the 4 oracles that were my cozy oracles, although I have a whole lot more than that. So the 4 cozy oracles. So the 4 items that bring me joy. Well, the 4 items that bring me joy would be crystals. I love crystals so much. I've said before, they were like my gateway into more things metaphysical. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up playing things like light as a feather, stiff in a board, and it really worked. I grew up messing with Ouija boards and doing seances and stuff like that. But as a teenager, and honestly, I grew up around the paranormal, okay? Like talking with ghosts and communicating with other things, okay? Even to the point of my mom getting a preacher to walk through the house with me because she was kind of afraid of what I was talking to. Whatever. I don't know. But all that stuff, I didn't really take a lot of it seriously as far as changing from Christianity. And there's probably always going to be a part of me that's also like acknowledging, Christ's teachings, okay? But it wasn't until I started learning about crystals and went into my first crystal shop. My gosh. Long time ago. And it like hit me. I mean, literally, it was one of those aha moments, but like where I got a little bit dizzy. It was almost like a spiritual, like, knock in the head. Like my spirit guides knocked me upside the head and said, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is the path that you're supposed to be on. And it was crystals. And that's when I started making jewelry. And then that strung jewelry turned into bead woven jewelry. But at that time, when I would talk about my jewelry, my big pieces, like my, I can't get it because they're downstairs. You guys have seen them. Well, the ones that have been here for a while, you've seen my jewelry. I do have videos on, and if I remember, I will put a link down below. But I would work with so many different items, like bone and horn and fossils and, metals and crystals and gemstones that I wanted to learn about in pearls, freshwater pearls. I wanted to learn about the healing properties, the magical properties of what I was putting in my jewelry. I also learned then about color therapy and color associations and what that can mean in the jewelry because the person is wearing that. So I had to learn a whole bunch in order to make what I did, I mean, I made rosaries, I made chakra bracelets. So that's when I learned about the rosary. That's when I learned about the prayers. That's when I learned about the chakras and the healing energy and Reiki energy. It was way back then when I learned about all those. So I find comfort and I feel they vibrate for me. I feel their energy. That's why they surround me, right? And I know that was really long, sorry. But so other things that comfort me is a warm drink, cappuccino, and the cinnamon. Other things that I find cozy is the fireplace, cozy blankets, comfort food, like a good chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy, or just comfort food. You know what I'm talking about. Yummy comfort food. I love tacos. I love Mexican food. So that's a comfort to me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of. This room, it is a huge comfort, and it's cozy in this room. I've got the fireplace going right now. You can probably hear it. So, the top 4 activities that bring me comfort. The top 4 activities that bring me comfort are sitting by a fire, under a blanket, watching movies. I'm a huge movie buff or TV buff. Way more than reading a book. Although, if it's a really good book, it will bring me comfort. okay? But I do get way more comfort by being visually stimulated. And don't get me wrong, when I read a book, I also see it in my head. But I have to work harder to see it in my head than actually just using my eyes and seeing what somebody else has, you know, put on the screen for me. Especially a good romance. A bittersweet romance like The Notebook or something like that. That brings me great comfort. Like I said, cozy. Comfort food, eating makes me feel cozy and comforted. Creating, whatever it is, I have to be creating. You know, I watched a video with Lisa and uh, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Danny Mystic. The last one that they did, Gators, Glitter and Gators, and they were talking about the need to produce, right? The need to, it can be overwhelming. It definitely can be overwhelming. I most heartily agree with that. But for me, creating, the act of creating something is the most comforting and safe space for me. It is what I enjoy doing. Many of the video games that I played, even, like Second Life, when I did that, that was really fun. But the comfort came after I started a business on there and making clothing all the time, right? So the things that I can produce, like my decks and stuff like that, it doesn't come from this need to produce. It comes from this need to create. It is in my friggin' blood to create. So if I'm stressed, if I'm upset, if I'm bored, if I'm whatever, my refuge is in using my hands and creating something. And if I can produce something from it, even better. That's probably the difference, or how you can see that I'm on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn, because I take my ideas and, like the Capricorn, actually turn it into a product, right? But that is my comfort zone. That is where I am home. If I'm not creating something, then there's something wrong, okay? I'm not being able to express myself. I'm like blocked. My energy's blocked. When I am creating, things are really good. So, and the last thing when it comes to the coziness, of course, being with my husband, he is my home, and my kids, and my other kids, Sully and Oliver. I get the most comfort and coziness. Sometimes I will go in and read or watch something and just lay in bed with the boys, because they come and get me. They literally come and get me because they just want loving. We have times where we just stop whatever we're doing and we say, it's loving time, okay? And we go get on the bed. We've got a big king-size bed in our bedroom, and everybody piles on, Jim and I and the two dogs, and it's just love fest. We are just giving them so much love. They're giving us bellies, and they just love it. And they sleep with us every night, okay? My husband cuddles with both of the dogs each night. And he was just saying today how he would be lost without them, because they're like his cuddle buddies, right? I don't like to be touched when I sleep, but he does. So it's perfect. So this has been that was the bat roost, the hashtag comfort 4444, and it's the 4444 if you hadn't gathered, because it's foundational, right? It's 4 things, but 4 is that foundational. It's that number of security, and comfort and coziness comes from that security. And then the pumpkin patch, no, I gotta do that yet. Magical toad, I gotta do that yet. So this, I'm just getting caught up to the cozy 4444. So Antoinette did such a beautiful job putting all this together, all the work that she put into this, and she's been staying on top of it. I don't know how she does it. She works crazy full-time hours, stressful job, and she just blows me away with her level of involvement. She is amazing. I don't know how she does it. Please go, I will put a link down below. Go give her some love on her channel, because all this has been because of her hard work and dedication, and I'm just blown away by her. So, and I'm grateful to be her friend. So thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'm sending you love always.